10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio.
Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm not joined, as always, by Chris Aceto. I'm joined by his twin brother, Lee Aceto Priest. What's up?
G'day, Dave. G'day, Dave. I just plane was delayed to Florida, so I've got a couple of extra hour or two. So I thought I'd jump on and we'll get this show out before I head to Florida for the Olympia. So
I think Chris is on a plane. I think he's on a plane. I knowing Chris, he's probably been delayed like 16 hours. I didn't hear from him. So Lee, at the last minute, we were texting back and forth. I said, "Lee, want to do the radio show?" He's like, "Absolutely." So thank you.
I was actually outside. Outside doing yard work when I got your text.
Wow, I didn't know you did yard work.
See how versatile I am.
I didn't even know you had a yard.
Because I'm mental. Look up.
Mental hamster. Yeah, I like it. That is cool.
I got a huge yard.
You do? How many acres?
Oh, it's probably it's not that huge because I live in around houses, not out in the country, but it'd probably be almost an acre because it's got a big lot. Well, actually, because I'm near the city, but because these were older built, like where this house is, and the whole yard's it's like a long one.
Yeah.
Like a couple of doors down, people have actually, because it's so big, people have actually knocked their houses down and built like 8 to 10 units and sold them and rented them out.
Oh, wow.
There's so much room.
They've
knocked their homes down and, sold units for like 500,000 each and built like 8 or 10 of them.
Oh, wow. So maybe you should be selling off some of your property.
hey, that's a nice shirt you got on you, Dave. Give me a look at it.
Yeah. So this is the old school bodybuilding
I like
clothing.
the colors on that one.
Nice. This is the Olympia special. I got the Species Nutrition on the sleeve here. And the back, I don't know if I can turn around here. I don't think I'm going to be able to show, but the back is really cool. It has
it's actually a bit cold here today. Let me just go turn on my heater behind me here. Chris has that heater behind him.
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. Except in Australia, it's actually probably swelteringly hot right there right now.
I got rain coming.
Oh, it is. I wanted to ask you a question. I'm obviously an avid reptile breeder. And, Australia, for those who don't know, has the best reptiles.
You would love it. Oh,
yeah, they have the best reptiles.
We've got the deadliest. You have the deadliest,
but you also have the best, like array of them. The only problem with Australia is they won't let you bring any in and you can't send any out. So you're stuck with what you got. But
you can try get them out. Some people get them out and they make a fortune when they do. So.
They do. You know what the funny thing is? Australia's retarded because what they should do is, I understand why you wouldn't want to bring in stuff. They don't want to contaminate the country there. But if you're going to you might as well just make money on exporting. Put a huge tax on it. Who cares what you ship out of the country?
Exactly, because we have I could go down to a park just down the road here.
Yeah,
and we have like those black cockatoos, like the huge bird, a cockatoo.
I know, those are rare. There'll be a few
girls, bikini girls, getting those birds this weekend. A cockatoo, and the cockatoo.
Oh boy, we're starting off with a Disney. Yeah,
they're very rare. But you get the big white ones. The big white ones have the silver crest on top and that, and then you got the big black ones that have the red head and red feathers, and they got the red frill here. But like around Australia, dime a dozen. I can go down the park and see 50 of them. You can feed them. Right. There were some people sneaking them out of the country, and they're selling them for like $15,000 to $20,000 each overseas.
I've never seen them anyplace else other than that. I mean, you can't go into a pet store and buy a black cockatoo. That would be like like $1 million probably.
What, have you seen one now?
I've seen what they look like.
Look on Pornhub. Type in black cockatoo.
Oh, you stop already.
I bet you wish you had Chris here now, don't you?
No. That's funny. But so anyway, you guys have like the best reptiles. I was wondering, do you ever see like snakes in your yard?
I'm sure there could be, but yeah, my mum had a big brown snake up at her place last week. She said it was probably about 7-foot brown snake, and they're one of the deadliest. I'm surprised. My mum and the neighbour, they chased it up the road, but normally a brown snake, when you go to it, it actually comes at you. They will actually chase you down, a brown snake. So.
Oh yeah, they're dead. They are deadly too. Like you said.
Yeah, I think they're like in the top 3. Like a guy just died not long ago, bushwalking, got bit by one. And we got. I think when it comes to snakes and spiders, we got like out of the top 10, Australia has like the 8 deadliest in all of them. So. Yeah,
it's pretty nasty. All right, here's the black.
And
cockatoo.
Then we have and.
This is the black cockatoo he was talking about, not some. I don't know what he was talking about before, but this is the real black cockatoo. They're gorgeous. And like you said, you could be if you could export 20 of those, you probably could retire. You know.
Yeah, that looks like Kai Green with his hair on top. I've seen his videos. He's got a black cockatoo. I'm
thinking like diamond pythons. I'm talking not the venomous ones, like the carpet python.
Have you seen I've seen them out in the forest.
Yeah,
you can see them, and we've got the There's a really nice one up north in the tropics. It's like a green tree python type of thing. But it's real. It's almost like the green of your shirt there, and it's got the bright yellow
green tree python
as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really nice. But then we also have another deadly one, but it is a beautiful snake, the red belly black snake. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this real. It's like the shiniest black. I mean, black as black on top, and underneath it has the brightest red stomach on it and stuff like that. It's really nice. Here's a thing you would like, because you used to have fish in that. You would love the blue ring octopus we have here. Have you seen one of them?
No, I didn't. What does that look like?
Look it up. It's only like a tiny octopus about this big, but when you agitate it, it's got these circles on it, and they glow this like neon bright blue. And that's why tourists come over and go, "Oh, isn't that pretty? Touch." And they die because the blue ring octopus kills them.
They're deadly?
Yeah, because they get in little rock pools. They get them in rock pools, and people go, "Oh, look at the octopus." And when you touch it, it's sort of, there it is. Look at that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And they really glow, and they start glowing. The blue starts like pulsating. Have you seen that thing called
I forgot you were an animal lover. Of course you would know all this stuff.
We have the man of war box jellyfish. Have you seen that?
Portuguese man of war, yeah, they're gorgeous too, yeah.
But then we have this other one. It's called there's this stingray farm not far from me, and it's actually this little thing. It's like a jellyfish, but it's the most deadly, and it will kill you in no time.
Oh, really?
It's up in the ocean. It's up in the ocean, up in the tropics too. Yeah, It's got a real weird name, like Kareka. It's like if you look up deadly jellyfish, it's got like a Aboriginal name or something, but it's only tiny. But man, it'll kill you.
Anything that'll kill you, I want to keep.
But then if you go up the top end, we've got those deadly sea snakes here.
Oh, I know.
Have you seen?
Yeah, but they don't really bother anyone, from what I understand.
No, they'll come up when you're diving. They'll come up and right to your mask and stuff, but they don't really attack you. But they can if they want. But the thing is, if you're up the top end, you got to worry about up the top end of Queensland in the tropics. You have like anywhere from 15 to 18-foot saltwater crocodiles in the ocean. So
yeah, that's probably a much bigger problem. Now, the jellyfish, was that the red one you were talking about? What color is it?
It's got a funny name. It's got like a real hard to pronounce name. If you come to it, it's like a.
There's some cool ones here.
Let me see if I can find it.
I'll pull up what I got here. Yeah, see if you can like this one. That one. Look at that one I put up.
Yeah, that's not it. The deadly jellyfish.
Yes, what about this one?
Deadly jellyfish
Look at
in
that one.
Australia. Yeah, that one there. I think that's one. Here it is. Here, this is the name of it. You ready? Write this down.
Yeah.
IRUK.
Oh, too complicated. I can't remember anything. No, I'll just put this one up. This one's kind of cool. I like that one. That's fine.
Until it wraps around you and you're dead. Now you got to watch this. This one here is only about a cubic centimeter. They are both the smallest and one of the most venomous jellyfish in the world. They inhabit the northern marine waters of us. Now, right there, it's only a small name. IRUK ANDJI. Write it in. IRUK IRUK ANDJI.
Got it.
It's a deadly.
I got it. Google's. I think I had it up there. I think this is the one I had up there.
It's only tiny. Look at it. They got it in a little. They got it in a little thing this big.
Yeah,
it's
they
in a clear
got it
plastic
compared to
vial.
a matchbox. Hold on a second. Yeah. We're talking
And
about
it's the
jellies.
deadly-
Everyone wants to hear us talk about they want to hear us talk about the Olympia. We're talking about jellyfish.
All we've talked about is white and black cocks and a jellyfish. What is this?
So we were so Lee and I were talking earlier when the news came out that Roelly Winklaar wasn't going to be making it to the Olympia, and I think we both had the same reaction. We're both like, how could this happen? I mean, how could they miss time if it is a visa issue, not a visa issue, if it is like a COVID quarantine issue time period? Then that would be the stupidest thing of all time, right? I mean,
but the thing was, when I was in the backyard just before I come in, I clicked on your quickly update thing where you said too about how, they should have been here, and which is true. This is the Mr. Olympia, and with visas, like anything can go wrong. Even airlines, I would never fly a week before the Olympia because just say a flight's cancelled or who knows what could go on. Your minimum to come in before a contest of Olympia caliber. My minimum would be 3 weeks. I'd want to be here 3 weeks before it. That way you're settled in, your body's adjusted.
Of course.
It's like this whole coming in 1 week before, and now what's his name's not even here yet. Who's the other guy that they said just got his visa?
Hadi Choopan.
Yeah, Hadi. Now even that's up in there. It's like I wouldn't want to be coming in these few days out either because just say, when you fly, even without COVID, how many people get sick just flying normally from germs or stomach bugs and shit like that? And
no, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right. I'm trying to find this picture. I keep pulling the wrong picture.
I just don't get it. He looks good though. The bull.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the bull in a minute, but
you'd have to. I don't get why they want to train over there when it's the Olympia. Get to America at least a month and a half beforehand. That way, there's none of these bullshit problems. You're settled in. You can train. I'm sure you can get all the stuff you need in America, for God's sake, that you need to get ready for a show.
I'm shocked that Bader doesn't rent a gym, especially with all the gyms going out of business now, and just get all his guys. Actually, you don't even need to. Brandon Curry's got his own gym.
But
fly them all into. Let them all live in Tennessee for 3 weeks.
You don't think they could get a place like, look at The Rock when The Rock travels around the movie sets. Look at that mobile gym. He's got a huge tent.
Right. No, but I'm saying Brandon would want to go home with his family anyway. So go to Tennessee, set up shop there. Bader could rent out a hotel, a whole floor of a hotel, put all the guys in there. Brandon can stay at home, and they'll train at Brandon's gym. I mean, it would have been a no-brainer right there. Or you bring the trainers in and everything,
Or do what the other guy did. Go train at Flex Lewis's gym. I'm sure
Lewis
would love to have him
this
there.
would be the same thing. Brandon is an oxygen gym guy. He's got his own gym. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but isn't Flex Lewis down Florida anyway, isn't he? So.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Flex would love to have them there too. And he'd give him the keys to the gym. I'm sure of it. I don't know why they waited till last minute.
Especially for a show like the Mr. Olympia. Okay, if it's maybe some smaller pro show, if it was like the Ironman or something a week, but you're talking about the Super Bowl of the thing here. Everything's on the line, especially when you're someone like Roelly or Ramy, or at least Ramy's here. But when you're at that caliber where if you hit it right and you hit it 100%, you've got a shot at the title. And now that shot at the title has just been fucked up because you weren't here. That's like, I can't imagine what he must be feeling. It's like I'd be pissed if I was him because what you've just put your body through, training wise, diet wise, supplement wise, and mentally, even the mental getting ready for it. It's like to have all that all of a sudden just taken away if you can't make it would be devastating.
And you know what the truth is? There's a rumor also going around that he might have tested positive for COVID, so he had to continue to quarantine. That would also be nullified if he would have come here 3 weeks ago too, right? Even if that is the truth, even if the truth is that he has something going on with COVID, or maybe they wouldn't let him travel, if he would have gone 3 weeks early, that wouldn't have been an issue. So,
like I said, a show like the Olympia, why would you risk anything a week before? Come on,
I said this on the radio 2 months ago, and that's 3 months ago, and that's why Kamal came here early. He heard me. He's like, you know what? I was listening to you, Dave, talk about it, and I'm like, I'm coming over there early. I can do it. I'm not going to miss I'm the Mr. Olympia. I'm not going to miss the show. And same thing with Hadi Choopan. Why is he waiting why would he wait till the last minute also to try to get over here with the visa? Why not come a month early? This way, if it takes an extra week or two to get your visa,
That's why I said, even if you had your visa, everything goes smooth. Just traveling the long distance can mess up your body, your fluid, everything. And then, like I said, just the normal stomach bug from being on a plane with other people or getting sick, it's just ridiculous. So that's why I remember, I think I told you before, when I did the Arnold that time in 2005. And after the Arnold, I heard Chris, because the Australian show was 2 weeks after the Arnold. And Chris is like, I'm just going to relax now and go down to Australia, because Chris had won the Australian show a couple of times before. Yeah. And I heard
Cormier.
Yeah. So I heard Chris saying that. So what did I do the day after the Arnold and the Sunday, Monday, I'm in California. I'm on a plane to Australia. I was in Australia 2 weeks before the Australian Pro Show. Right. I go into the Australian Pro Show, even better than I was at the Arnold, more shredded, and won the show. And Chris is like, what the fuck happened? He's like, this show sucks. It's like,
hey, Chris probably went out partying too for 2 weeks,
So Chris come to Australia a bit smoother. And also when he came down there, I think, Chris was partying, because then he got messed up at the airport. And Chris actually got there a day before the show. And you know how that's going to mess up going to Australia.
Even all his
holding water.
Yeah, even all of Chris's crazy, water depleting antics, he didn't have enough time to do them all.
No, so
that's funny.
Lee got there 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah, you were right there. But yeah, I mean, Hadi Choopan, what I hear, is having some issues too, and he's this is a guy. I was looking at this video he put up on his Instagram. I'm like, this guy. I wasn't at the Olympia last year. I'm like, what? Looking at this video, if he would have been Mr. Olympia, no one would have complained, right? I mean, he's really good in this video.
I just don't see like a show for the Olympia why you'd leave anything to last minute. Like with the way the world is with COVID and traveling and everything else, and Hadi's had visa problems before. Why?
Sure, because of where because he's from Iran.
Yeah.
He should have.
I just don't get it.
He should have tried to get in here a month ago. And then,
like
he got to live with Hani Rambad, or whatever. I'm sure. Look, his country would have sponsored him. He could have stayed in a hotel for 4 weeks if he had to.
That's crazy.
No, it's not like anyone's in hotels now anyway.
I think next year they should make a rule that when you sign the Olympia contract, if you're coming from overseas, you've got to be there at least a month before the contest.
It would make sense. I mean, because you know what? I hate to say it, but it's true. It kind of messes up. I feel bad for the Olympia guys, because here they are advertising these guys as being in the show, and it's not their fault.
Was a huge name.
Yeah, so is Hadi Choopan. But I think Hadi will make. I think Hadi will make it, from what I understand. But why leave it to the? I mean, we're a week out. This is like you know how when you go when you have to travel international, and there's always some knucklehead who waits and says, "Oh, you need a visa? What? You need a passport?" And then they got to try to go to they got to go to like the post office or go down. And I know in Manhattan there's a place where you can get your passport in one day. And I remember Akeem Williams and Oscar Arden had to do that one year. They didn't realize you need. I don't know if it was Akeem or both of them. They didn't realize you needed a visa in addition to your passport to go to Brazil, and so they weren't going to be able to go. They missed the flight, and they had to go down to the city. They got there like 3 hours before the show started.
I know. Because I had to go to Brazil quite a few times with Black Skulls. I went there 6 times, and I used to have to go to the embassy and get it and send away for it. But then the last couple of times they finally made it. You could do it digitally online, and so I could do it all online. And
I don't know why everything should be digital.
Before it was only 1 year, but then the last time I went, the visas were valid for 2 years, so it was good. But even
I
now,
got 10 years on mine. I got 10 years on my Brazil one. Yeah.
I was meant to go to England a month ago, but they went into lockdown. But even to leave Australia now with COVID restrictions, I got a friend that's a doctor, and he couldn't even leave. But luckily, I got granted I can leave. I think they want to get rid of me, Dave. Like,
they probably don't want you to come back. They think if he leaves, we'll just stop him from coming back into
exactly.
the country. Yeah,
that's their plan. Yeah, so I got approved to go now, but of course I've been locked down. But the reply I got back says my name now is in the system. So even if my plans change, I'm in the system now, so I can leave any time. So I don't see why these guys didn't plan ahead and get all this stuff done. It's the Olympia, for God's sake. It's the Olympia.
I don't know. I don't get it. Look,
I said, you know what it's like getting ready for a show. Could you imagine going through all that prep, the mental, the physical for the Olympia, and then a week out, you're not going, it's over. It's like what? They'd be like telling your kids that 5 days before Christmas, hey, Santa's not coming to see you. Too bad. They'd be like, what?
Right.
They'd be devastated. They'd be like, what? No Christmas?
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what's wrong with people, to be honest with you. They do stupid
whoever's
shit.
looking after him, whoever's looking after Roelly, because okay, people can say it's Roelly's fault and stuff, but Roelly's focused on training. That's where his focus is.
Exactly.
He's got people taking care of him, watching this, watching that. They're the ones that should be. The business people should be all up on his visas. He's traveling and shit like that's all he has to do is focus on his training, eating, sleeping, and that's what it should be. Because I saw a few comments, people going, "This is Roelly's fault. Roelly should have kept up on this." No, Roelly's job was to train. The people who were bringing him over and who were traveling with him, they're the ones that should have been up on it all.
Someone should have been up on it. That's for sure. Well, I'm sure we'll hear the official story from Roelly at some point. It's just a terrible thing. And you know what the thing that sucks is, Lee? There's no other shows. It's not like there's a whole European tour you can do. You know what I mean?
No,
that's it.
Exactly. It's not like
all
the old
that work.
days you'd have another 6 shows. It's like,
yeah. He better do some posing online on his Instagram and get some mileage out of all his conditioning he's got.
I was going to say, all he should do is open his fans only page right now and do a lot of posing and photos and stuff like that.
Right. You could do some gay porn on that. No, just kidding.
Maybe show a cockatoo and see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh shit. So what do you think about Ramy? I mean, Ramy's in the United States training with Dennis James. Dennis, I think, is mad at us.
Don't change the subject, Dave. I was going to ask you, have you ever seen a grown muscular man with a camel? Is what I was going to ask you.
Ask Ramy. I don't know.
Remember that movie Airplane, or it was called Flying High Here with Leslie Nielsen and that?
Yes.
That one, Airplane?
They changed the name in Australia?
Yeah, it's called Flying High Here.
I didn't know they could do that. No, yeah, it was Airplane here.
But remember the stupid things that they'd be like, quick, we've got to get him to a hospital. What is it? Oh, it's a big building with windows and patients, but that's not important right now. But remember that remember that one guy in the air.
Billy, you ever see a grown man naked?
Yeah, him all the time. All them gladiators. He just kept going on all the time. Then he hands him that piece of paper. He goes, here, look at this. What can you make out of this? He goes, oh, I can make a brooch. I think a pterodactyl. And then I was like,
that's definitely
stupid comedy.
Yeah, that was your
but
humor.
That was a good movie.
That, you know what? That was a great movie. And remember they had like those movies. These were more serious though. They was like I think it was called like Airport 77 or something like that, and then Airport 78. They had, it was like about these airplane hijackings and all kinds of. Those are the funny movies.
And the guys bringing the plane in. Where's the forklift? It's over there. It's over there. The plane goes
off the runway
through the lounge.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the Olympia. I got to keep you focused. Big Ramy posted this picture on his Instagram.
Yeah, that's a leg. That's a leg. Yeah.
Or I don't know if he posted it or if Chad posted it. So Ramy's in the United States, wisely training with Dennis James, who. It was insulted, evidently, that Chris Aceto insinuated that they were panicking, and that's why they sent Ramy over to Dennis.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and I'm one of Ramy's number one fans. I'm hoping he wins the Olympia, for God's sakes. I hope he can bring it in. What do you think of this picture? Is this a good sign, or is this?
How do we know that's Ramy's leg?
That's true. That is true.
How do we know?
Let's assume it's Ramy's leg.
That could be Tom Prince, Paul DeMeo. That could be
no. Well, that's a compliment that you're giving him, because if it is Ramy, that you're saying that he looks good there. Now, do you think that this has like filters or anything like that on it? So you think this is a pretty?
Of course it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No one ever puts up a picture just standard these days without changing something to it. But again, this was what two weeks before the show. This was a few days ago, wasn't it? So again, if it becomes like that on stage or even harder, that would be great. Because I'm like you too. Because when I comment on Ramy, people go, "Fuck you, Lee," and it's like, I'm not coming down on him. I'd love to see the guy win. I'd love to see Roelly win. I'd love to see everyone come in their best shape ever.
Absolutely,
and fight it out. What's disappointing is when you see these pictures of him a week or two, and you're like, "Oh wow, he's great." and then come the day to show you like, oh, what happened? It's not that you're coming down them. It's just like you don't feel let down, but I actually feel let down for them because everyone's got this hype thinking they're going to win. They're going to come in and do great, and there's going to be this big battle. Then they walk out, you go, oh, he's going to get 6. He's not even in the running because whatever happened, and they went to shit. So
Right. I hope that doesn't happen because, I mean, Ramy, we've been saying for 7 years now, has got the tool set to be Mr. Olympia 100 times in a row. I mean, he's got so much muscle. I mean,
a few guys have. It's like, Roelly has it.
Roelly too. You're right.
Why when I see pictures like this of his leg and how it looks great like that, the thing that gets me is, okay, this is 2 weeks out. When I used to do my photo shoots 2 weeks out, that's when I mainly I look great. I always got better from that. That's why I don't understand when we see these pictures and they look this good. Yeah. How the fuck can you go backwards from here? You should be tightening up and getting drier from this point, not getting worse, not bloody.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you what happens. I know what happens. This is what happens. I'll tell you because he looks like this. He's depleted. I guarantee you, he's on like 0 carbs or very low carbs, probably, at least for Ramy. And guaranteed, they're giving him a ton of cardio, and Dennis is working his butt off. They got him under supervision 24/7. So Dennis is watching him. Ramy's not eating a morsel of food extra. And you know what? Ramy needs to be babysat because this is good for him. Because now he's obviously got to be upset that he hasn't been able to deliver the goods, so to speak, on Olympia Day. So everything's going perfect right now, right? Depleted out of his mind. His face is sucked out. You can see in the pictures that pop up here and there. And everything's good. Like you said, if he probably got on stage like he is right now, probably win the show. No problem. Depleted on 50 grams of carbs a day. Okay. However, that's not what's going to happen. He's going to get the 3 days out, and they're going to carb him up. And Chad's going to do, his pie crust with Ramy.
Because I'm an expert on contest prep. If
they're
he's
going to
on 50 grams of carb, if he's
they're going to carb him up. They're going to load him up with carbs.
Yeah, let's say he's on 50 a day now. I wouldn't put him over 100.
Right. So what I'm saying is, even if Chad doesn't go crazy with the carbs, like what he had to do with Ronnie Coleman, even if he only gave him, like you said, if he gave him 250 or 300 grams of carbs, that might still be too much. You know what I mean? Give him 100, double his carbs, for what they are, and if he looks that good right now.
Exactly. If he's depleted now and looks like that, the little bit's just going to fill him out, but he'll still be hard and shredded. He's not going to fill out and go to the point where he's gone too far. But I don't know why they don't get that. It's like they go one extreme to the other. It's like, boom.
Or maybe don't do anything. Maybe just slap on some fucking Protan on the guy, and send him out on stage.
Once you pump up and put that tan and oil on, it's an illusion once you get under those lights. And somebody like him comes in shredded. That's why I always used to get disappointed with Kai.
He can't look small.
Kai had that much muscle on him. If Kai come in shredded under that lighting, he would have been a mass monster. You've seen it before where smaller guys come in. Well, look at me when I won to San Francisco. Everyone swore I was 240, 235. I weighed 199 pounds. Yeah. That's such an illusion. But yet, like you said, these bigger guys think they've got to be big and full. But when they're coming big and full, that's just
some people's bodies, when you fill them up, it just gives them a soft look. It doesn't make them better. Some people look better depleted. You know who used to look better depleted? Tony Freeman. When I used to work with Tony Freeman, his lines would only come in when he was like on 0 carbs. And you could give him like the day of the show, you can give him a meal, some carbs. He didn't need it. He had such beautiful lines and shape. He had a lot of size on him. Everything just showed better when he was depleted. Matter of fact, one show I was helping him, he was really behind, and I was torturing him with a lot of 3 hours of cardio. And you know what? I didn't even carb him up. We just went in as is to prejudging, and then I said, "You'll eat carbs after prejudging," and the guy won the show. So, some people just don't get flat. If I would do that, I would look like an Ethiopian on stage.
And Ramy and them don't look bad, but just that when they come in that full. Standing there, okay, when they pose, they look hard and have some separation. But like you want Ramy to stand there like when Hadi stood there or Dexter stands there. Sure. They're hard and shredded the whole time, even standing relaxed. And some of those bigger guys, when they fill out so much, they stand there relaxed, but yet they look smooth and watery until they pose. But then it's just not the same. It's like,
you know what happens,
crazy.
Lee? when you fill them up, you're right. They fill them up with carbs, and then what happens is they start holding water. So what do? You got to give them a diuretic, right? And what happens is in a lot of people is the diuretic pulls the water out of everywhere, including the muscles. So then the muscles start to deflate. So they're not getting harder, and you don't know what to do. So you give more diuretic, right? And they just don't get harder.
They look flat and smooth.
Right. They look flat and like, you could tell they're in shape, but they're not. Nothing's popping, and you can't figure out what. And it was all because you got sucked into that whole sucker game.
But Dave, those ones that do that, wait till you see them 2 days later.
Oh, they look amazing. Yeah, they look amazing.
Full and hard and vascular. Like
great Instagram photos.
Well, you know, exactly. I would have won if I looked like this, where you shouldn't have done what you did. And that's why I don't get, after all these years of doing it, why don't they learn? It's like I think you mentioned before, you keep doing the same thing, get the same result. Fucking change it. Stop doing the same shit. It's like,
well, you know what it is? Because that's the procedure that works for most people, right? Most of us, we deplete, we carb up, we take a little diuretic, and we go on stage. Some people just can't follow the stage. Their bodies are just, look, he's obviously not like any other human being. He's superior genetically to all of us, right? But his body doesn't function the same. So, I think Chad's a smart guy. I guarantee he's figured out what to do around me. I can't imagine him making the same mistake again. So let's hope.
Any diet I did, I think the lowest I ever went on carbs, because I was training twice a day and 2 to 3 hours of cardio. The lowest I ever went was about 250 grams. I never went any lower than 250.
Right. But you didn't need to, obviously.
No.
Some people would say
I tried it once. I tried that going 50 grams. I'm like, bugger this shit. I lasted 2 days and I went on a binge.
Yeah, well, if you don't eat some fats in place of the carbs, you're not gonna have enough calories, and then you're gonna definitely cheat without a doubt.
No, so I just kept it. 250 was the lowest, and I just went by the mirror. Then I just went by how I felt, how I looked. If I felt like I needed more, I ate more. If I felt too full, I just cut them back.
Well, what did you do different for that NABA universe you did? Because that was like probably the best conditioning you've ever been in, right?
Probably just a bit more cardio. Because I knew the guys over in England, those Europeans come in big, and a lot of the Europeans too, and the Italians, they always come in bloody shredded. So I was going to be like, and it worked out because I knew a lot of the bigger guys, the Europeans, did the old Ramy trick, come in too big and too full. I came in shredded and won. So I think I think over the years, just the muscle maturity more and stuff like that. But I think I could have been a bit fuller, but I didn't want to risk it myself because I figured I'm not going to come in that bit fuller than have somebody shredded.
Right. But you had glutes and everything and hams. That was always like an area that was a trouble area for you. In the earlier.
Yeah, so I just figured I'm just going to come in shredded and whatever. So, but even for that show, I got there a week beforehand in England just due to traveling and stuff. I wanted to make sure I was there.
Yeah. Look, Ramy's doing everything right. He got here early. He's training. He's being watched over. I said this right from the beginning. He should be watched over by Dennis James. Good matchup. I know Dennis is upset with it, but Dennis, don't take everything so personally. We're people who are supposed to be critiquing what's going on. So
fun, just laugh, and then when you do well, go, haha, fuck you, I told you.
Exactly. And then if Ramy wins the Olympia, you can say we will be eating our hat, and then if he doesn't, then
I swear to
keep going.
Swear to God, some of them act like you've just been banging their mother and showed them photos or something. It's like, calm down. It's like it's like you said, it was just an opinion. Laugh, have some fun. It's like, okay, just say that. But
I had Dexter on the show. It was one of the best interviews I think that I've done with Dexter ever.
I saw Dexter, and under that beard, you can see his faces.
Oh, he's in shape. He's in good shape. Yeah, he's probably peeled to the bone.
I can see Dexter top 6 easy and as high as third, but even then, if he gets into top 3, if any of the others slip, Dexter, to me, like, if you were to judge on consistency, like, my car accident screwed me up, but I'd probably still be competing. Yeah. But, Dexter was around. I think I started just before him in the pros when we were competing together and stuff, but I'd still be going like him because I enjoy the sport. I love training like him. I didn't abuse shit and go crazy with stuff. And the thing is, I think to me, that's what a Mr. Olympia should be. And I think he gets overlooked because the thing with Dexter is because he's so consistent and he's so good and comes in that great shape every year, people go, oh, there's Dexter in shape. Whereas some other people, one year they might come out of shape. Let's just say Ramy for one. Ramy comes in, he's out of shape, we go, oh, there's Ramy. But if Ramy comes in shape, people are going to go, oh my God, look at Ramy. Fucking Dexter's like that every year. Look at fucking Dexter every year. He's fucking shredded.
You say we take it for granted. Rarely. We take it for granted.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think the judges do that too. It's like they don't reward him on being in shape and being consistent every year. It's like they're looking for somebody else to be like, well, Hadi was off this year, but look at Hadi this year. Oh yeah, put him in third. When look at Dexter. Dexter should be Mr. Olympia 12 times over just for being fucking consistent. That's like, you know.
I think Dexter's problem is that, and this is also his why he's so successful longevity wise, is that he never got huge. You know what I mean? So everything flows in harmony and it looks great and he's balanced and his conditioning is. Oh, I've never seen the guy out of shape. But if a guy has a little bit more firepower in the muscle size area and can get in shape, which is, you know, not always possible. He sometimes has a problem beating guys with like slightly bigger legs than he does and stuff like that. But what we know about bodybuilding is that probably only 25% of the guys in the lineup will be in their best shape ever, which means that Dexter's already beaten 3/4 of the people before they even show up. Now, of the 25% that are in shape that are left, can any of those beat Dexter? That's the question. And that depends on,
too, some might be bigger, but the thing is too, it's like some might be bigger in certain body parts. Yeah. But like I said, it's bodybuilding. When we're judging head to toe symmetry and muscle, you know, flowing biceps, triceps, back, chest, abs, waist, quads. Right. Dexter's got great legs and stuff. So you might say, well, this guy's bigger here and that, and he beat Dexter that way. But you know, we're judging overall balance and body and conditioning. Dexter should easily. There's been quite a few times Dexter should have been way higher than what the placings he's got.
And I'm sure he would agree with you too on that. And but he's also, you know, and I was asking when I was talking, you heard when I was going over all the wins he had, I said, how many second places have you gotten? And he was like rolling his eyes. He probably got as many second places as he got first places. I got news for you, you know. So
I remember when I got second. I got second at the Ironman like 5 times. I'm like, I'm never going to win this show. That's why I think Lonnie Tepper interviewed me at the press thing. He's like, how do you think you're going to do at the show, Lee? I'm like, second. That's the year I won.
Yeah, I was there.
When I was standing there, and I think it was me and Dave Henry, and they go, second place, I just went, oh, it's not me. Hand down, Lee.
Yeah. There you go.
I think they're never going to give me a first.
Persistence pays off, man. Never quit. That's what I tell people.
I think when that was 2006. They said the judges probably come to an agreement. You know what? If we give him a win again, he might just piss off. So let's just get rid of him.
It made you worse. You won the show and then you left. You know, so that was even worse.
Then I got banned for life.
Yeah, exactly. I said, what the hell's wrong with this guy? He just won. He just looked the best he's ever done in his entire career. He won a show. Blackman was like, I don't know. He's a rebel. He's a rebel.
I go out on top, Dave. I go out on top.
That's right. So
speaking of Blackman,
what?
Speaking of Steve, I was just reading my book. Sorry, I'm chewing on ice. I was reading my book, and there's a section in there where it mentions about the contracts with MD and how it was coming to an end, and Steve wouldn't contact me, and I mentioned how I tried to call him all the time. And they're like, Steve's busy. I'd email him. This went on for 2 months. Right. But then I'd go on the muscle forums, you know, the forums on MD, and Steve's on there live. Steve's on there live. Yeah, so I wrote to him on there. I said, Steve, you're not answering my emails and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I called him out on there. He was 2.5 months late paying me. So I said, you haven't paid me for the last 2.5 months and stuff. And in the book, I've actually published a letter that he wrote back to me going, Lee, I'm very disappointed in how you made that public online. And blah,
you did publish it in the book? I haven't even read the book in your book yet.
I'm very disappointed in this. And
I'm sure he is.
And I'm like, well, Steve, for 2 months, you wouldn't call me back. You wouldn't email me back.
Right.
But
finally, you got him to respond.
Online, so I'm like, well, here you are. I might as well just ask you now.
You might be the only person who's paid up in full, who has no money to.
Oh, yeah. It's like, that's very unprofessional of you. Like, fancy someone calling me unprofessional.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, since when have you ever been professional to be in?
Exactly.
You should have said it's very unprofessional for you not to pay me. How about that?
Yeah.
And all the other 25 people that you owe money to.
That's the thing when everyone say, oh, Lee, you're this, you're that, you're a pro. I said, no, I'm just Lee. I'm a fucking dickhead. Forget the pro part. I'm just the guy that loves going to the gym.
He goes to the shows, Lee. Lee, he goes to the shows and hobnobs and shakes people's hands, and he owes them money. He doesn't even remember. They'll be like, "Why are you shaking my hand? You owe me money." Don't worry about it. Well, it's been 3 years already. You know.
How could you do that? I couldn't. If I had people money,
I would be in hiding. First of all, I wouldn't owe people money. I don't owe people money. That's how I would open up my wallet and give it to them. You know.
What about the ones that owe you money, but then you'll see them go buy a new car, and you're like, "You only owe me $100, but you're buying a new car, and you can't pay me $100." It's like,
yeah, exactly right. As they said in the Bronx Tale, right? You just for that $100 there, you'll never have to hear from them again. It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look at this lineup we got going on. The men's open, of course, with Phil Heath coming back, and Saturday, believe it or not, Lee, I didn't know this. It's Phil Heath's birthday, so talk about a gift on his birthday. You know, no pun intended.
Do you think the stars are lining up?
Maybe could be. It could be.
It's a ploy. It's a ploy. They deliberately stopped Roelly coming so he could get the gift.
Right. And they deliberately held the Olympia on his birthday, right? That's so they can get him back in the show.
Makes for a great documentary, Dave.
Yeah, there you go. Number 8, and you know what? It's also the play, and I have to credit my. Well, let me just say, it happens to also be the place where Lee Haney won his 8th Olympia in Orlando, Florida.
Oh,
how's that for a little? My friend Ralph Torelli gave me all that information. I don't want people to think that I actually did any research on this.
Well, let's not even hold the contest. Phil's winning. There you go. It's already been set in stone.
Right. So
happy birthday.
The question is, where will number 9 be held? You know, we'll be back in Vegas next year, or will it stay in Orlando? I think they should move it around.
That's what I hope they keep moving it around. Go to Chicago again. Go to New York.
Go to Australia, man.
Yeah,
let's go to the what's the Sydney
Tony,
the Sydney Opera House
where they had it in 1980 with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's right.
Back there.
That's
Tony's a wonderful promoter. He'd help the Olympia guys out, put on a great show down there.
It'd be insane if he was involved. Yeah, it would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We're throwing ideas. We're giving ideas out there again. I know Tony would love that. Yeah.
And I'll come and do the commentary for it down under.
Either that, or you could be in it maybe by then.
Oh yes, I could, couldn't I?
Look, I was thinking about this. You don't have that many years left, so you got to strike now.
In life,
maybe in life too. But look, you got a limited bodybuilding lifespan left. Okay, so if the surgery was successful and you can start training, I say you shoot for 2021. 21 is a good 22. Year anyway.
2022. That's 3 2s. That's like free swan swimming.
Yeah.
Like in bingo.
You may never get to. You may make it to 22.
And then I can do classic.
There you go. You'd have to lose you'd have to weigh like 150 pounds at your height.
You think? Do I? Have to be that light, do I?
You'd have to be.
I'll be shredded.
Light. What are you, 5'4"?
5'5.5", Dave.
Oh, yeah, that's even worse.
And people go, why do you say 1.5? Because when I went to the doctors and he stood me against the wall, he said you're 5'5.5". So I take the half.
And when was the last time you were actually measured? 10 years ago? 15 years ago?
No, it's only when I went and had my neck surgery, only a week before that.
Oh, okay. All right. That's accurate then. Yeah, because you shrink.
Maybe because they put that bit of metal in my neck, maybe I'm 5 3/4 now.
Oh, you might have grown an inch. That's a possibility. You might have grown. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So
I'm 5'6", Dave. I'm 5'6".
Look, if Phil Heath's waistline looks even 10% better than it did when he lost the Olympia to Roden, I don't think he can be beat.
No. Well, it's all going to come down to, because we've seen Brandon, how he looked last year, but just imagine if Brandon's put on a bit more size and comes in shredded. That's why this Olympia, when we say if everyone comes in 100%, because some guys we've never seen at 100%, so we don't know. So it's really hard.
Yeah. I was going to say, Jay Cutler thinks that Phil can't be beat. But
well, if Phil comes in really at his best, like the Phil we've seen at his best, then he'll be very hard. Like for someone to beat him, they're going to have to be even exceptionally, you know.
Who's that hard from behind except Dexter? You know.
Yeah.
It's a brutal back double bicep.
See, that's why when you say who's that hard from behind except Dexter, and Dexter's complete, that's why I say Dexter could easily be, if it was judged fair,
but
Dexter should be top 3.
Yeah, no, you're right. On conditioning alone. Look, I'm a conditioning guy. I love conditioning. So, I mean, when guys are a little off conditioning-wise, that's why I love Bonac. Bonac is also another little fucking conditioning maniac, you know, and with no flaws in his body. He, you know, people haven't talked about him. I think Bonac is one of the most dangerous guys in the lineup, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Well, you have Bonac and you have Hadi and Dexter. There's 3 guys that you know generally aren't going to come in out of condition, so...
There's no way Bonac won't be at his best at this show.
No. Not after getting second last time.
He's dangerous, you know. He could stand next to Heath. He's got the cartoonish muscle like Heath does.
Exactly. And because he's got that cartoonish muscle and he's like shorter stature like me and compact, if he comes in that little bit drier, the illusion of him on stage just looks freaky.
I agree.
That's the crazy thing about it. When you're a little bit shorter too, you can look like you're more freaky than the taller guy.
And you know, he's short, but he's not. He doesn't look short on stage because you know why? He's got good proportion to his body.
Imagine all these predictions. Imagine if it's finally said and done, and the Olympias like first place Bonac, second Hadi, third Phil, or Hadi first, Bonac second, Dexter third, Phil fourth. Imagine if it went like that. Everyone would be like, "What the hell happened there?" See, anything could happen. It's like
that's not gonna.
That's why it's so hard with predict. You don't know. It's like it's bodybuilding. Anything could happen. Like let's just say something bad did happen and Phil did slip up and get in a bit smooth, or Brandon come in smooth, and then all of a sudden there's Bonac and Hadi moving into 1 and 2 if them two miss it. So
Hadi is one of the most dangerous guys in the lineup because he really doesn't have any weaknesses as far as I'm concerned, and his conditioning is. I've never seen the guy out of shape. He's like granite, the guy, you know. So, and he can stand next to all those guys. He's not the tallest guy, but he can stand next to those guys, you know. But the thing is, like we've said, like even with Brandon, all these guys, if one of them, even Ramy, just slip up and, like you said, do too many carbs and just spill over that little bit, it's done. It's like someone's just who's in shape's going to beat him. So that's why it's such a. With the predictions, anyone the top 10, like from even 6 to 10 with the names that are in it, even they could change. Like Labrada at the moment, I could see Labrada being anywhere from 7th to 10th or 7th to 8th. But if one of those guys in the top 6 slips up, I could easily see Hunter Labrada moving into the top 6. So Hunter looks great. You know, he looks really good.
Exactly.
A lot of people think that, you know, Jay Cutler thinks he could be top 6.
Yeah, well, I think the same. If one of the other guys just slips up a little bit and he comes in and he hits his mark, well, look at him. He's got great symmetry. He's got great mass for his frame right now, and he's only going to get better. But even right now, he could easily hit the top 6 if one of the other ones slips up or does something wrong. So.
Yeah. You know, look, everyone says, you know, I want to compete. I want to beat the best out there. I want to compete against these guys and beat. But the truth is, and you know, Lee, you were competitive, and you could be honest about this. When you see a guy like Roelly Winklaar can't make the show, you know, you're saying to yourself, whew, that's another guy I don't have to worry about, right?
Hey,
I mean,
Dave,
you're moving up.
Dave, trust me, I heard it from a few guys when I got suspended.
Yeah,
I can move up a spot. Lee Creasy's out of the track. Like they told me, I'm glad you're suspended.
I would be thinking that. I'd be thinking that. I'd be like, look, man, I'm trying to win the Olympia here. The more people that aren't there, the better. I'm glad Sean Roden's not in the lineup. I'm glad Kai Green is not showing up in this lineup. Who else
Cedric's
did we lose recently?
Cedric.
Yeah, I mean, these are all guys that you don't have to worry about. I mean, yeah, fuck, man. I'm sure Phil Heath is happy about it. He's like, I don't have to worry. Although he probably is not worrying about those guys. But the less freaks in the lineup, the better chance you got to win in the show. I mean, come on. Or even placing top 6. For most guys, it's like, can I make the top 6? You know. It's
a shame Sean Roden couldn't beat it, because then you would have had Phil, Dexter, and Brandon. You would have had 4 Mr. Olympias on the stage.
Great. Look, you know, it's a rough year. It's amazing we have an Olympia. Rafael Brandao got COVID, the terrible case of it. And that's why he's not on the show.
Don't say anything yet, Dave. Could you imagine if it comes out midweek? Florida's just been shut down due to COVID.
Nah, they're not shutting us down. But you know what? I worried. And that's why, look, I'm not going to the show because I don't want to be exposed to COVID. You know, there's going to be there's going to be people with COVID at the show. I mean, and that means that anyone who's there can get it. If I'm competing, I would be sequestered in my hotel room till the very last minute. I would not be going out.
I've been to these shows, Dave. I've been to the expos and that. I've seen the after parties. I'd be more worried about STD than fucking COVID.
Do you think even anyone is even going to that, broaching that at this point? Because they're so scared. I mean, I would be.
Are you kidding?
You think there's going to be banging? Lee, you think there's going to be some banging at the show? Come on, I want to know.
Is the Pope Catholic?
So there's going to be a lot of banging this weekend.
Is anyone? Of course there is. There's probably going to be babies made, COVID babies. So it's like, how do you think some of these girls are going to get first? How do you think some of these girls are going to get first place?
Well, they could be like I don't know if it
comes the train.
Can you transmit it through a penile route, or is it just breathing? Do we know?
Well, they're on top of them unless you're doing doggy style and you're breathing away from each other.
You got to do doggy style and wear a mask. Come on, Lee. We got to practice safe,
and gloves.
Safe, consensual sex there. Yeah, gloves, exactly.
Did you ever? I used to happen to when I was with a girlfriend, but you ever sometimes wonder when you'd see the boyfriends or the husbands and wives at contests sometimes, and you'd see the girlfriend at a show who's sort of pale skin, but she had tan in weird places.
Oh, I've seen it from top competitors who were sleeping with people they shouldn't have been sleeping with, And I'm I'm not talking about judges. I'm talking about they were just like hanging out with some guy or some girls hanging out, and they got weird tan.
How did you get tan in those spots there?
Yeah. One of the guys
is that chocolate? Is that chocolate around your mouth?
All right, let me go back to the show. One of the guys that I really think is dangerous in this lineup is and it's because he has such a big structure and he's got a lot of muscle is Ian Valliere. Now look at his leg from the side. We saw Ramy's leg from the side. That's a dry peeled leg from the side. This guy's got the best. He's also another one. 2 weeks out, he's the best guy.
And that's the thing with Ian too. Ian's leg is only going to get drier, and that separation's going to get deeper. He ain't going to go the other way and all of a sudden smooth out. So
he could surprise a lot of people if he figures out the right balance between fullness and keeping that dry conditioning and not over dehydrating where his muscles lose that fullness. Because we talked about it earlier. You could, if you're in shape, you don't really need to do a lot. If you start over diureticing and overdoing things,
that's why
you screw up. This guy could be top 6 easy.
That's why I told people when I get ready for a show, all I did was tan up the last day or two, slowly take a bit of water out. So all I had to do was tan up and pump up, put the oil on. That was it. I didn't do anything crazy. And then, like you said there, Ian, I'd have him 7 for 8. But like you said, anyone else slips up, he could easily get in the top 6, crack the top 6.
I think he can. And I think another guy who's very dangerous is Akeem Williams in this lineup, too, because he's got mass to stand with these guys. You see, some people ever say, I want this guy to be. Akeem can stand there anytime with these guys. He's got the size, the conditioning.
Even his size, conditioning, and his skin color reminds me of an old. Remember Nimrod King?
Yes.
He sort of reminds me of that thickness and that dark skin and that roundness. But Nimrod, I think, was a.
I always tell people it's impossible to get pro tan too dark. Akeem's skin is so dark that sometimes you're right. Sometimes it loses, some of it's the wow. Orville Burke had the same problem. Orville was very, very dark too. But if you get peeled and dry, you'll see it, and the lighting will be good enough there at the Olympia where he's going to be a freak there.
There's even a few photos of Robbie Robinson sometimes at some shows looked a bit smoother than what he was because his skin was so dark.
Yeah. But Akeem has really changed his physique a lot. It's matured. He's got, when we talk about muscle maturity, he should be the poster boy for muscle maturity because when he first started, he was big because the guy squats 700 pounds for reps. I mean, he's got muscle, but he didn't have the muscle maturity. And that took 3, 4, 5 more years from when he was big. Now he's getting that mature look to his muscle where it's getting grainy and it's looking, you're seeing more back detail on him. And so he's another dangerous guy. If he stands in that lineup, he holds himself.
That's why all predictions are going out the window, because there's so many people that can move up, go down. Let's just say Phil's at his all-time best. Phil wins. Yeah. Okay, let's put Phil in first. From second down, it's anybody's show. From second down, whoever comes in.
Right. Well, I'm assuming only because I've seen kind of like what he looks like in a sense. You got to think Brandon Curry and Phil are going to be 1 and 2, assuming they're both at their best. Assuming they're at their best. Now you throw Ramy in there at his best,
but even with Phil at his best, Bonac got second to him last year. Let's just say Bonac comes in better. Would Bonac, being at his all-time best, beat Phil? I mean,
maybe Bonac's better now than Phil. Maybe Phil is not the same Phil. I don't know. We don't know.
Oh, so we don't know anything. Let's go back.
Here's a scenario. Can Phil beat Ramy at Ramy's best, even though we haven't seen Ramy's best yet? If Ramy's sliced to the bone, can Phil beat him? I mean, Ramy is huge.
Because Phil, yes, he is huge, but Phil still has that 3D look that Ramy still doesn't have. Ramy's huge and big frame and that, but Phil still has all that density to him where he just looks cartoonish, whereas Ramy's big, but yet Phil's that cartoonish looking that Ramy just still doesn't have.
But isn't Mr. Olympia the biggest guy that's in shape with good symmetry?
Oh, well, then Marcus Rule should have won a few times. And
no, but Marcus Rule had his back. He had some issues with his glutes and hamstrings. Wasn't as good. Ramy really has no weak body parts.
No. Well, his back's not that great. It's big, but it's not detailed like Phil.
Well, it's just because he hasn't been in shape. But if he's in condition, I'm saying he has a huge back.
Still not wide, but it's still not going to be that thick detail that Phil has. So no, answer to the question, no.
Okay.
He can go ride a camel into the sunset. He ain't winning. Goodbye.
All right.
There comes the death threats now to me.
But I agree with you as far as Bonac's concerned. I'm a big Bonac fan, and I like the way he looked at the Arnold Classic when he lost.
But even imagine Hadi coming in a bit drier than he did last year.
I don't even think he needs to. I think if he just came in the way he did last year.
Imagine if he did. If he did, came in that little bit drier, and he has that Munzer type cross styrations to him. Then you'd be like, holy hell, where do we put him now?
It's like you said. I mean, it's a good lineup, even with the people that we said we're missing. Even with no Roelly Winklaar there, it's going to be a tough show. It's not going to be a walk in the park.
Like you said, even when you start talking about the others, like the Ians and the Hunters and all the other people, even those people, you can't even put them in really numbers because they can switch anywhere from a guy you might think will be in 10th. If he comes in great, he might be in 7th. So it's like
it comes down to the whole who's in shape, and that not everyone's going to be in shape. That's unfortunate.
Would you like to talk about jellyfish?
No.
Wouldn't
you say? You know what? When I think back at Olympias, Lee, to me, I think that the '98 Olympia, the most people who were the top guys were in shape of all time. And I'll tell you why they did it. Because Dorian left and everyone said the Olympia throne is open. I want the Olympia. And everyone came in shape.
Though, Flex missed
Flex could have been harder.
Second. If Flex was harder like he was when he would have won on that, when he was down near the 218, 220 mark, Flex tried to play the size game and just,
he could have been. He's the only one. But you know what? Even that, he still looked really good, though. I mean, he still looked really good.
Oh yeah.
But Nasser was great.
Square Gardens.
Cormier was great. This guy named Lee Priest was great. Nasser,
incredible.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a really good one.
Sean Ray was in that one.
Yeah, Sean was good. Everyone was in shape for that show. I don't remember an Olympia in the history of the Olympia where that many good guys were in the best shape of their life. And hopefully, maybe this will be the Olympia we see a lot of good guys.
Really, the year before there was Flex wasn't in that one, but a lot of guys were pretty much in shape. That one, Dorian's last one. Well, Dorian probably wasn't at his all-time best, but
Nasser was probably at his all-time best.
Myself, Delette, Sean.
Yeah.
Kevin, a lot of us were. Yeah, it's hard to. And then even the early 2000s, a lot of guys were in shape then. That's where this is a good Olympia, because normally when you have Olympias, normally it's the top 4. You can pick easy, go, okay, these guys are the top 4, the rest. Yeah. But now, here we are, we can't even really pick the top 6. Okay, we're saying Phil for the win, but then after Phil, who knows? But then even from 7th to 10th, you don't know. You're going to be like, oh, who knows? So.
Well, we only say that because we don't know who's going to show up in shape. But I mean, assuming everyone's in shape, can you give me a top 5?
In order.
Order would be nice if you can do it.
Well, I'm not going to give you order, but if everyone's in shape,
yeah,
I'd give you Phil.
Brandon, obviously.
Brandon. Bonac. Ramy.
Okay, that's 4.
Hadi.
That's 5. All right, so now you've left out Dexter.
No, Dexter's next. You're saying 6. Dexter's in the 6. There you go. That's my 6.
Okay.
Phil, Brandon, Bonac, Ramy, Hadi, and Dexter. But in what order, I don't know. But that's my 6.
All right, that's a very good top 6. I would have to agree with that top 6. But you didn't put them in order, so that's not really fun.
We're going to put it in order.
All right, let me ask you this question: who do you think will win? Not who's the best physique. Who do you think, if you're a betting man, if you're going to go lay a bet down in Vegas, who do you think will actually come out as the Mr. Olympia?
Well, now that you've told me it's his birthday and it's in Orlando where Lee won his 8th, and Phil.
All right.
That makes a good documentary.
It's a safe bet. It's a safe bet. All right. Well, we'll have to see.
Yes.
Guys, if you haven't signed up for the pay-per-view, make sure you do so.
That's not knocking Brandon or anyone else, but it's just,
no, I know. I'm just asking. Who do you think
I don't believe Phil would come back not knowing he's got a good chance to win. I don't see Phil coming back with the distended stomach. I don't see Phil coming back screwing up his last day's prep, coming in smooth and that. I think if Phil comes back as he's coming back, I think we're going to see Phil at his best. So he can say, look, I won the title, clean and simple. You just didn't touch me. Right. End of story. None of this
funny thing is
was close.
Yeah. The last one he lost, he was his best conditioning wise. He was freaky from every body part, from every angle, except his abdominal area was a little, distended. And he probably is still going to have a distension problem. Hopefully he can control it better,
No. And, I think that's going to be fixed up, or he'll has learned to control it more. Plus, I just think he's going to come in that little bit drier than he has been before, just to, like I said, prove a point. If you're going to come out and win it, come out where it's just like, when Dorian a few times or Ronnie Coleman walked out on stage, you walk out on stage and stand there, people go, holy fuck, that's the winner. And your eyes just keep looking at him. It's just like, that's how you got to be, because that way, if you can draw the attention like that, no matter how good the other guys are, if the eyes just keep going to that person, it's like, hey, it's over. So
look, Ramy is the wild card here. If Ramy and we always say that every year. If Ramy comes in ridiculous, there's no one in that lineup bigger than Ramy who can really stand next to him and make him look small. So Phil will have to be absolutely off the charts, mind-boggling to beat an in-shape Ramy.
You're not going to make him look small. But the only thing with Ramy is when you see Phil and Brandon or even other Dexter stand, the only thing with Ramy is he's big, but to me, his legs are too big, so then his upper body doesn't seem to flow good with his quads because his quads are so massive.
Right,
that it makes his upper body look funny, whereas the others all flow together. So, well,
we've never seen Ramy in the best shape of his life either, so it's hard to say. When you see someone in guest posing shape,
stop going back to that. Well, you're just scared of death threats, aren't you? To say how you feel. You're trying to get in Dennis's good books.
Believe me, I got the Middle East connection there. They'd love to see Ramy lose. Believe me.
It's like I've said, people have been asking me when I go on my lives, hey, what are you predicting for Olympia? I said, look, I really seriously do not care who wins. I just hope that if everyone comes in their best shape ever, it's fairly judged and the best man wins on the day and everybody else is placed accordingly to how they look. And that's it.
Right.
No politics involved, no nothing, just everyone gets what they deserve on the day to show by how they look. That's it, on their merits. I don't care if Joe from Timbuktu turned up that we never heard of and he came in shape and he deserves to win it. He should win it. None of this favoritism or shit like that, or it's your birthday and it's the 8th win of Lee Haney at Florida. It's like, I don't care.
Right.
Oh, well, the eggs are done. What was that?
That's the wife on emergency override. That means one of the kids are waking up. So I want to definitely. My kids don't sleep. Everyone else's kids go to bed at 7:30. They sleep till the next day till 9 in the morning, and they never wake up. My kids wake up 600 times during the night. They go to bed at midnight. It's terrible.
They're eating those protein cookies with pre-workout mixed in them. That's
believe me. I watch I don't let them eat a milligram of caffeine. No, they think they're going to miss something. They're like at that point. They're like, my son thinks if he goes to sleep, he's going to miss like something that's going on or something like that.
Or maybe they just know how old you are, Dave, and they're scared they might not see you in the morning.
No, that's a possibility. You never know.
Dave,
All right,
wake up, Dave.
I want to bring up the USA. It's incredible that we had the Nationals, the USA, like almost like weeks apart. The Team Universe. Chris Robinson won the NPC USA super heavy men's overall. I wanted to put him up there. I wanted to break the whole show down. I don't know if we don't have time, but
I've even got my computer here. Unlike Chris Aceto, I've got hold on. I just clicked on his name and this girl's ass come up with Angels Bikini competition bikinis.
All right.
Jesus.
I think he's got a great structure. I think he's got a great future. I'm really pretty impressed with his physique. What do you think?
Yeah.
Overall champ.
Conditioning could have been a little tighter, but he looks
a little drier. Yeah, I'll pull up his back picture.
See, because this was only like what, last weekend, was it?
This was like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Okay, so why couldn't they? Because he won the overall, got his pro card. Why couldn't they just say, "Go to the Olympia. You're in Florida. Off you go."
There you go. They should have. Special invite.
Why couldn't he? Why couldn't he? I'm sure he would have done it, wouldn't he, if he was there?
I would have done it. Why not? Well, it's not the same weekend.
You're only going to. Well,
it is a weekend. After, it is 2 weekends apart. Let's see who's.
You could stay in. You could stay in. It's Chris Aceto saying he's on a plane.
Yeah, my daughter's getting up. That was the text. That's my daughter. My daughter's Aria's getting up. That's
yeah. It's
look. You know what? And I gotta give props since I'm going to do a quick recap of this the USA. Jonathan Ward, who's been trying to get his pro card for how many years now? A lot. He just did the I guess the Nationals and he didn't place top 5. I thought his conditioning was the best he'd ever been, but he comes back here and he finishes second. So now there's no pro card obviously for the second place, but I'm so happy to see him back in that top echelon. He's a nice guy. Used to work for me at Species Nutrition. I'll pull his picture up for you.
Yep. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Bald head. Yep. Number 724.
Yep. So congratulations, John, on that second place finish. I have to imagine next year will be your year. But
looks good.
Brought good conditioning in. Yeah. Now, let's take a look at the heavyweight class real quickly. Martin Gomez.
I got it on my computer in front of me. It's like I'm there with you, Dave, looking at it.
I know. That's why I had you pull it up so you can give me your feedback.
I want to be. Let me be like Chris when you're looking at it. Hold on.
There's Martin Gomez. He wins the heavyweight class. He'll be getting his pro card as well.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
Look, I take my hat off to these guys that they were able to, actually pull these pro qualifiers off all in the month of, December and November, essentially.
And you have to imagine too, even the people getting ready for the show and the promoters of the show, as you got the show getting ready, like the Olympia and this one, and the guys training for it, at any time, somewhere in the back of your mind, you're thinking shit could hit the fan and everything could get canceled.
Oh, of course.
It's like, imagine just getting ready for a show thinking, oh, my God, this could all go.
And here's Dominic Semenza, who won the light heavyweight class. He looks like he could have almost done classic physique, too. Really nice physique.
Man. I keep saying, yes, he's got a nice drawn face.
Yeah, you could tell this guy's in shape.
His legs aren't flexed in that picture, but you can see the cross striations under.
Yeah, no, he's crazy lean, this guy. And you know what? This is a testament to show you that conditioning wins shows. He's probably not the best guy.
like some of his photos here doing the double bicep shot. Now I've noticed on a lot of shows, some people lose it who can be in the best shape ever, but they just don't put enough oil on and they look flat compared to like they might have oil on their stomach or half their chest, and when the light hits it, they look so good. But then they haven't got oil here, and they look so flat. You're thinking, if you just had oil on your arms, my God, that would be like,
you know.
This is what I wonder. I've seen guys lose shows because they haven't had oil on. The guy beside him has, and the guy beside him's not as good, but he just looks better because of that sheen on the muscle. And it's like, mate, why didn't you put oil on? You would have beat him.
I wonder if they even have people back. Remember they used to have. Well, I don't. You didn't really do the amateur scene here.
They had them backstage, Dave. They had them backstage. I know.
No, they used to have all the tanners.
Hey, stop putting oil on. Stop putting oil on like that. I don't need it there. Come on.
They used to have all the tanners and oilers up backstage. I don't know if they do that now with COVID anymore. To be honest,
we used to have what's her name? CJ would be back there, and a couple of other people would be back there putting them on, and.
I don't know if they do it.
The lightweight guy doesn't look bad either.
Now you know what? The guy who won the heavyweight, the light heavyweight class, he did. How prophetic is this? He won the. This guy won the classic physique overall too.
Yeah,
I didn't know he crossed over to the national level.
Hello,
do you hear me?
Hello,
I'm here.
You're going funny. Hello.
I did go funny, huh? It's funny. I hear you fine. I hear myself fine.
You sound like a robot.
Oh, I do? I'm going to be a robot. You're going to be my best friend. That's what my kids watch. This, what I was saying is Dominic Semenza here won the classic overall. Too. You can't hear me? Really?
I can hear you, but it's like it sounds like you're talking. Hold on, you're back to normal now. Hello, you're back to normal. Okay. Hello.
All right. What I was saying is Dominic Semenza here won the classic physique overall too. So he won the light. He took 2 pro cards. Stole 2 pro cards from these guys. He won the classic overall, and he won the light heavyweight open. So, congratulations.
So can he choose now what he wants to compete in? Can he?
Well, I think you could. I think you can cross over anyway, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what you turn pro in. I tell these women's physique girls to do women's bodybuilding because there's only like 10 girls in the whole pro qualifying show sometimes. And
yeah, but if you've got a pro card in the bodybuilding and the classic, say you wanted to do the Olympia, you can't do the open and then do the.
No, I don't. That's why I don't know. They don't let you do both. It's silly. If you qualify, this is the way I think it should work. If you qualify. The way like Hadi Choopan did in 212 and in open because you did a 212 show and an open show and you won, you should be able to do both.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be able to cross over unless you've qualified in both categories, however. You know?
Yeah. So. I think that'd be great. Imagine if he'd done the 212 and the open. It'd be a good payday, wouldn't it? And imagine if you could be the first guy ever. That's where
he would have won. He probably would have won the 212 last year, right? I mean,
easy. Then it's a sad thing too because. I would have loved to seen Flex Lewis at his best too in this lineup this year. That would have been.
I know. I forgot that. You know what? I blocked that out. That's another one. Yeah. So
because imagine we've seen Flex in photos weeks out when he's around that 225 mark and he's full and ripped and
it would have been great. Believe me. So, look, this was a weird year.
That would have thrown all the predictions out again if he was.
I know. This was a crazy year, and it is what it is, and. Thank God the Olympias happening. We have to thank Jake Wood for that. And I interviewed Oksana Grishina, who's coming back in fitness. If you're going to buy the pay-per-view, she might be worth the price of admission because her routine alone is so entertaining. It's the only thing I really enjoy watching on stage is her routine.
What happened to Adela? Why wasn't I saw just something pop up where she had to pull out?
She said she hurt her back or something like that. And she wasn't able to practice her routine. I don't know why she was coming back because her physique was always her strong point. Her routine was never like a strong thing. Like it was. I always felt her routine was much weaker than her physique was. So
some of her routines were good because she'd do sometimes. She wasn't like the gymnastic dance type, but she'd do a lot of those real short, powerful. Explosive movements, like when I do the one-arm push-ups and go to the elbows and come back up. So it was more those power type explosive movements that made you go, oh wow, compared to a dancey type background and stuff like that. So.
Right, but I have to imagine it. You know, look, we're all getting older, right? I mean, she's in her 40s. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, her being able to execute those moves with the same, you know, explosiveness she did when she was in her, you know, 20s and 30s. So it would take, you know, it would have taken. She's a competitor. I got to give it to her because you know what, to come back, you know, after all those years off. And put it out there. I mean, that took balls on her part. Now, obviously, she pulled out at the last minute, but I know she's hinting already she wants to do it again next year. She wants to try to come back. So,
yeah, well, why not?
I don't think she's pulling a Kai Green on us, is she? You know her better than I would, so. You were married to her.
Yeah, inside out. Now, the thing was that they said there was, wasn't there something to be remember when they said Kai was making the big announcement, it was just that he'd signed with Redcon, but wasn't there meant to be some other big announcement coming later on that?
Nah, I think.
Well, they said there was because is he in that contract with Redcon though? They're going to be a stipulation that maybe next year he has to compete in maybe the Arnold or a big show.
Kai's the hype machine now. That's they like to drop like these little hype bombs. We'll never see Kai.
You don't know.
If Kai didn't come back this year, he'll never come back. First of all, the year he should have come back was last year. That was his missed opportunity. Even Jay Cutler said it. That was his missed opportunity. So I don't think we'll see Kai.
Well, maybe he's just waiting.
You never know.
Hey, Redcon. Show us the Redcon contract. He has to compete in one show.
There you go. You never know.
Normally, companies, when they give you a good amount of money, they want you to do a show. So
right. Well, I'm sorry, guys. You guys who did the USA, that I didn't do more coverage of that. It's just, you know, we had so much to cover here. It's Olympia week. All these shows are jammed together, and so we had to cover that. But we'll get some of the winners on the show after the Olympia, and this is going to be an exciting week. I'm looking for
nobody. The winners. Who was to hear the winners and say, "Oh, I'm so happy"? Let's get the guy that got second or third that's really pissed off. Let's get them. Let's get them on. Let's get the guy that got fifth who should have got second. Let's get them on. If they give Dexter 8th place, give Dexter 8th, let's get Dexter on.
Yeah, that's the interview you want right after Dexter gets on stage, right? We'll get all the guys.
You don't want the winners. They're the happy ones. Oh, I'm so happy. I want to thank everyone. Get the guy that got second.
True.
Who was in great shape, and he say, "How did I get second?" Oh, I don't know what happened. It's like, fuck this, I'm retiring. Fuck this. Right. I mean, when you have meltdowns are always good TV work. That's for sure. Well, look what happened with Phil when he lost to Roden. He lost it. He lost his cool for a couple of days there. Well, that's the best thing. It's like when I used to watch the car racing, and you watch the guy gets smashed out of the race, and the interviewer's there as he's walking back to the pits, and he puts the mic in front of his face about someone crashing him. He just goes off. It's like maybe it's not the best time to interview someone.
Exactly. All right, guys. If you haven't signed up for your Olympia,
have someone backstage. I want someone backstage. Get Sid backstage or someone backstage that after the placings, as they're walking off the stage, ask them, "How do you feel? Do you think you got screwed?" Yeah, that's where you want to get the. That's where you get the. That's where you get the best sound bites, Dave. Then.
That's right. That's how we get banned the following year. All right, guys, if you haven't signed up for their pay-per-view, make sure you check it out at MrOlympia.com. Get signed up. I'm telling you, you want to sign up for the whole weekend. I think you missed the window of opportunity. I think I did too. I think it's $59 for the entire weekend package. You get to see the press conference.
Complain about $59. People are going to complain about $59. These are the same dickheads that go out and buy 100 or 50 or 20 bottles of Test and Deca. I can't afford $59. How much is that Deca? $200 a bottle. Get me 10. Yeah,
you're saving money. If you would have gone to the Olympia, the tickets would have been $100 at least for one per show.
Who doesn't have a couple of mates that they train with? Go to his house.
Right. Go to each other's house. TV, right. And watch it.
Throw in $10 each for God's sake. Come on.
Yeah. I like the idea that I can just kind of watch it all day long, and just if I don't want to watch Bikini, I don't have to watch Bikini. If I want to watch this one, I can watch what I want at the leisure of my house. You know, I could put it on my big screen TV, and it'll be look, when I used to go to the Orleans Elite, I used to watch the big screen TV because unless you're sitting in that front row, you can't see anything there. Yeah. So you'll have a better.
And you know someone.
What?
someone's going to pay for the $59, and there's going to be a couple of assholes sitting there, Facebook
Streaming
Living at the people. Here we go.
Well, there'll be people streaming it, and then whatever. There's no way to stop that, Lee. Unfortunately for these guys, I don't even know what they can do.
That's the sad thing about it. No, you can't.
Yeah, well,
that's the thing. That I was like, yeah. So if anyone is streaming it, let me know because I'm cheap. Can you let me know where you stream it?
No, Lee will pay the money and he will watch the Olympics so we can do a good wrap up afterwards. All right,
I got to take notes.
I'll put it in your Christmas bonus, the Olympia live stream.
Okay.
we'll add
I'm going to predict. I'm going to predict right now.
Yeah.
After there'll be no white guy in the top 6.
Really? Okay.
No, there's no one white, is there? So if we can't. Ramy's not white.
Well, he's whiter than the other guys in the lineup.
He wouldn't get into KKK, Dave, so he's not white. Okay, if you can't get a membership in the KKK, you're not white. Okay. You think he's going to turn up and
maybe Ian Valier will shock? Maybe Ian Valier or Hunter Labrada will shock some people.
They're the only two. I think they're the only two we got going, isn't it?
They could shock people. All right, let's see if Lee's prediction is correct. I got to wrap this up. I did this show. First of all, I want to thank you for doing the Heavy Muscle Radio show with me because Chris is MIA. I'm sure he's somewhere over Miami somewhere.
What? I'm here, Dave. I'm here.
My compatriot in crime, Chris Aceto, is going to be on location this weekend at the Olympia. All those guys out there, and so he'll be.
You might want me to stand in next week after the Olympia because he'll probably be back home with COVID, so you probably need me to jump in.
Either that or he'll be lost somewhere over fucking Maine, flying at the same time. So, so I want to thank you. This is probably one of the longest Heavy Muscle Radios we've done in a long time too, because I can't. With Lee is like I can't just cut to the chase. Chris is like falling asleep when I usually do the show with him. Lee is like in the middle of his day over there in Australia. He's got tons of energy. So.
Yeah. And when have you ever got to talk about cockatoos with Chris? That's what I want to know.
That's right. Certainly not black ones. That's for sure.
Exactly. Hey, I'm not racist, Dave. I love all colors.
That's right. I know you do, Lee. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For your brutal honesty.
Does this mean I don't have to do the other show tomorrow now?
That's the funny thing. If I do the other show, if I don't do like Iron Rage with you, people will be sending me emails and screaming that I ruined their therapy session for the week because they seem to like to watch you to vent all their frustrations with the world.
Well, we'll put up a quick post. Ask Lee questions for Iron Rage tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. We'll make it an Ask Lee instead of like a real Iron Rage. All right, I got to wrap this up, guys. You know what to do. Remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
You knew it. I love it. He watches the show. We'll see you next week, guys. Have a great Olympia.
Of course I watch, Dave. Chris doesn't miss out.